Simon Told Helen wins a half length. Zach Manelli second.
Welcome to Greyhound Gossip.
Peaky Blinders start cheering for Tommy Shelby wins the WA Sprint Championship final.
Featuring Peter O'Neill.
Mozza moves up to Mermaid Manelli. Fab's Gem 3 deep. Here comes Fab's Gem.
Hard Skull Rico by 5 lengths to Simon Told Helen. Third Tommy Shelby.
This segment is dedicated to the discussion and promotion of greyhound racing.
Cindy's Oliver, Rockstar Patriot, Paul Stuart, back-to-back with Rockstar Patriot in the Galaxy.
Handsome Prince, a bolder clear, the former Tasmanian. Handsome Prince has won the $1 million chase.
And a very good morning, everyone. Welcome along to Greyhound Gossip, a big weekend of greyhound racing with the WA Bred Championship heats on Saturday night at Mandurah. And also we had a big program on the East Coast as well. WA Greyhounds did very well on the East Coast, qualifying for the final of the Adelaide Cup and also the brilliant run of Bezecchi going around in a heat of the $1 million chase as well. So that's all to come on Greyhound Gossip. We've got a couple of special guests coming up a little bit later on in the program, but we are giving you the chance to win a $200 Tab Touch voucher. WA Greyhounds are celebrating 50 years, and we would like to know who you think are the top 8 WA sprinters and stayers of the last 50 years. All you need to do is text us on the Retrovision text line 0427 789 571. That's 0427 789 571. Your thoughts and go into the running to win a $200 Tab Touch voucher. Make sure you keep Sunday 8th of December free for the official naming of the top 8 WA sprinters and stayers and the number 1 WA Greyhound of all time, decided by a panel of WA Greyhound experts. So that's all coming up. So get onto the Retrovision text line if we get any through this morning on 0427 789 571. You go into the running for that $200 Tab Touch voucher, and we will be deciding. We want your thoughts on the top 8 WA sprinters and stayers of the last 50 years. Paul Stewart's about to come online. He's had some very talented chasers over the time here in Western Australia, including the great Miata, who will be in the running of the top 8 WA sprinters and stayers. And he had Bezecchi fly around at Wentworth Park on Saturday night, and Paul joins us online this morning. How are you, Paul?
Yeah, good, Pete. How's yourself?
Yeah, good, thank you. First of all, we've got a competition running, the top 8 WA sprinters and stayers, and you must be fairly confident that Miata would be considered in both of those.
Yeah, well, probably not the sprinter, to be fair. She's more of a... Obviously, she had the records over 500, but yeah, she didn't really do much on the racetrack other than the times that she put up. But yeah, probably not a sprinter, but you definitely have to think she'd be up there for the stayers.
Putting you on the spot, who do you think would be the number 1 greyhound of all time in the last 50 years of WA greyhound racing?
Oh, that'd be a hard one. I mean, I'd think she'd be up there somewhere, but obviously it's hard to sort of, compare dogs from different areas and whatnot, so yeah, that's a tough one that you'll have to come up with.
Yeah, well, we'll be hearing from our audience, and we'll be able to relay some of that information through as we go through the day and the week as well. Bezecchi, well, did you expect that sort of time? 29:13, the second quickest run ever at Wentworth Park behind a greyhound that had only had one run in his career, and that was Shaky Jakey. And that was absolutely brilliant, and now comes into the market for the $1 million chase, second favourite behind Explicit Bezecchi on Tab Touch, currently quoted at $9. Were you expecting that?
Not at the time. I expected him to go well. But yeah, it was hard to sort of picture him spearing the lids like he did. So that's good. First time he sort of really stepped like that. He had plenty of room. There was a vacant in 3 and a slow beginner in 5, so he got plenty of room to move early. And I think, to be fair, I think he was a little bit surprised. And then, yeah, he just took off and kept going. But, yeah, I expected him to sort of on his own if he could run like the 29.3, 29.4 mark. But, yeah, definitely didn't expect a 29.13, especially after sort of the troubles he's had in the last couple of weeks getting ready for this race.
Yeah, well, tell us about that, because he'd been racing in really good form here in WA, which was one of the reasons you decided to send him across for the $1 million Chase Series. Tell us about the difficulties that he's had since he's arrived in Sydney.
Yeah, well, I sent him over not long after the Mandurah Cup. He was obviously a really good run in that race. And then, yeah, I sent him over there to have a stewards trial. I think it was before the first, 2 weeks ago at Wenny Park, and they done the first trial, no problems, and then he was in the second trial, and for some unknown reason, they didn't shut the catching pen gate, so he ended up going nearly a 700-metre trial, and they have the old lure, they don't have the electric lure, so obviously they went through the catching pen, he just kept going, and when they shut the lure off, they can't sort of go with the dog, and he sort of caught it down, pretty much the end of the back straight, and smashed into it and broke the lure in half as well. So he come out with all cuts and bits and pieces on his feet, and then obviously having the 700 was a pretty big task on the dog himself. So luckily he comes through. That no problems. He's a strong dog, so he handled the extra trip. Fortunately, and he was supposed to race the previous Saturday, but because of all that the week before, we had to bypass that and just give him a short trial on the Monday night. And then, so we weren't to expect anything of it. Obviously he blew us all the way on Saturday night.
Were there thoughts originally, and is it true that he might have needed to go on to a drip, and also thoughts that he might have needed some veterinary treatment as well?
Yeah, they were talking about it. The vet on course sort of was leaning towards that, but him just being the type of dog he is, he's actually naturally very strong, and he was fit when he went there, so I wasn't too concerned with needing that type of stuff. And the next day he was good as gold. So it's more just precautionary not to race him, and obviously he had a few cuts on his feet from crashing into the lure, but he got over that no problems during the week, and she's all good now.
Okay, so what's his next step for him? Where does he go to? He obviously goes into the semi-finals now?
Yeah, so that I think the draws come out on Wednesday, and that's 8 heats, 8 semis. So winners only goes through to the final week. So hopefully he draws well or draws a nice suitable race, and he can be competitive on the weekend.
And of course, you've had a strong and long association with the Finn, so he's in good hands.
Yeah, exactly right. That's who taught me up, and where I learnt all my craft from, and he's sort of gone over there and fitted in beautifully. I do exactly what they do, so basically it was like a home away for home from him, and that's a massive bonus.
All right, all the best with Bezecchi. Must be really excited to have one of the favourites going through to the $1 million chase semi-finals. It's great to have a WA Greyhound over there. We've certainly got a strong hand both in Adelaide and Sydney over the next few weeks. All the best.
Good on you. Thanks, Pete.
Good on you. So that is Paul Stuart joining us, and of course Bezecchi running the second quickest time ever at Wentworth Park there last Saturday night, and certainly had the Greyhound world talking. Let's continue on with Greyhound gossip, and a man who I hope is in good shape because he had a pretty big weekend. He was at Mandurah on Friday and then travelled up to the Goldfields where he had some success with the Williams team, and also had some success on Saturday night in a heat of the WA Bred Championship with Iconic Jet, who's 3 from 3 at the track and distance. And I'm talking about Shayne Williams. The Shayne train joins us this morning. How are you, Shayne?
Yeah, good morning, Pete. How are you, mate?
Yeah, good. How did you pull up?
Pretty rough. I'm not going to lie, but it was actually a good day up there. I had Colossal on third, and a few of the boys owned Starry Heights, and we celebrated long into the night, but it was good fun, good laughs.
A long drive up. When did you get back?
It was longer on the way back, Pete, let me tell you. We got back yesterday about 3:30, just in time for the NRL Grand Final, which I fell asleep on watching it on the couch.
What about the run you would have seen from the Goldfields, the run of Iconic Jet? You must have been really, really impressed. He drifted in the market, which was a little bit of a worry, but he certainly put them to the sword.
Yeah, no, he went good, and it was a bit of a relief, to be honest, Pete, because I'm still scratching my head about Adelaide, how he sort of wasn't finding the line in the heat in the final, and he got the job done really well. He used box 1. He's been a bit lucky with the box draws, to be honest, so no surprise to see him draw box 5 in the final, but yeah, he got the job done. He ran it out well, and he should strip a little bit fitter. He probably only had the 1/400 in the 2 weeks leading up to that, so hopefully he can go a bit quicker in the final, which he's probably going to need to.
What about the box draw? So Sunset Serengeti, this is the market in box draw order for Tab Touch, the WA Bred Championship final. Sunset Serengeti won $4.60. Sunset Nightjar $4.20. Spooky Hook $4.80. Sunset Hornet $5.50. Iconic Jet $4.20 drawing box 5. Emerald Guardian $6, $13. Shy Emoji $26. Inside Scoop drawing box 8 currently at $12. All of the heats, they almost ran identical times, so it's very interesting, the box draw. What did you make of Iconic Jet drawing box 5?
Yeah, that just goes to show you the depth that we have here. I think like some dogs running 27.30 have missed out on the final, so it's very even, and he hasn't drawn well, Pete, but a lot of the speed is on the inside, so he's really got no speed on the outside. So if he can come out and sort of hopefully get the camp behind one of Hobbies, or if not sit up outside it, and hopefully hits the line. hits the line well, and hopefully he can get the job done for us. It's a big step up for him, Pete. So he's still a 5th grade dog, and throwing him in them heats was a bit of a late decision, but he done us proud on Saturday night, that's for sure.
Certainly did, and I'm sure you would have told a few people up there in the Goldfields, and they would have been watching on Sky Racing.
Oh, it was quite funny, Pete, to be honest. The image of me and the tips kept coming up on the tab machines, and a few of the boys with Starry Heights were letting the punters know, and they're all getting behind him, and then obviously Sunset Nightjar, who was the first tip, and it was a lot of screaming and yelling and drinks going everywhere. So I'm glad I got out of there before race 10, number 1, because it got beaten. I told everyone I couldn't get beat. So. I probably won't be able to show me face in cow for 12 months.
It's always the case. You're really enjoying yourself with the Williams at the moment. You're having a little bit of success up there, and you've enjoyed the ownership. Tell us about what it's like to be in a stable of one of the state's leading stables.
Yeah, well, it's been a lot of fun, that's for sure. Grant and Alana do a great job, and actually here at Lark Hill now, about to watch Sketchy Boom Trial at Lark Hill, so that's exciting, and they're just they're the best in the business, and obviously Willie rides for them, so you get a lot of leg ups, and it's just been a real fun time, and even outside of ground racing, it just gives you that outlet from the dogs, even though it's still racing. It's just been great fun, and I think I'm up to 11 or 12 horses now, so it's getting a bit out of hand, Pete.
And also, you've also gone into the Greyhound media in a little way as well with David Short with the Jet Set podcast. You mentioned that you're on Tab Radio with your tips each day, and also on our blog. How are you finding the Jet Set podcast with Shorty?
Working with Shorty, it makes it easier. He's an ultimate professional, and we just try to make it fun and have a bit of a laugh, Pete, and just try to be a bit different to all the other tipping shows. Obviously, we go around Australia, Meadows, Wentworth Park, and even Darwin on a Sunday. So, just I let Shorty try to be the expert, and I just try to be the funny person on there, Pete. But sometimes the jokes are not that funny.
Well done on the weekend. I'm glad that you're back safe from the Goldfields, and well done with Iconic Jet. We wish you all the best of luck with him in the final of the WA Bred Championship, which has been won by some very, very good greyhounds over the years, including one of my favourites, Reggie Might, back in 1998. We've mentioned that we've got a competition going for our listeners to pick their top 8 WA's best top sprinters and also the 8 stayers, and they can text in on the Retrovision text line 0427 789 571 and go into the running to win a $200 Tab Touch voucher. Who would you think would be the number 1 greyhound of all time in the 50 years of greyhound racing, Shayne?
Well, I'd have to probably be a bit biased, Pete. Miata, I'd say, watching her from over east as a young man, and the feats she done, travelling all over Australia. But there's probably plenty to choose from, but I'd have to lock her in.
Well, our panel of experts have come up with their top 8 sprinters and stayers. It'll be announced at a gala function on Sunday, the 8th of December, so keep that free. Look forward to catching up with you then. Good luck over the weekend.
Thanks, mate. All the best.
Good on you, Shayne. Train there as we now go across to, I think, Adelaide, and Steve Withers has landed safely, which is great news, and he's about to join us as well. Steve, good morning.
Good morning, Pete. How are you?
Yeah, good, thank you. You might have just heard that we're running a competition, $200 Tab Touch voucher, which I know would come in handy for you. Who do you think would be in we're trying to come up with the top 8 sprinters and the stayers, but obviously one of your greyhounds would have been spoken about with that panel and I'm talking about Tommy Shelby, who has 3 runners through to the Adelaide Cup. First of all, on him, you're expecting him to be in the top 8. Where would you rank him overall in the top eights, in the top eight sprinters of all time in 50 years of WA greyhound racing?
Well, that's very difficult. There's been some fantastic dogs. There's been some great achievements, and probably guys before our time that may have had to do things a little harder and more difficult to move dogs around the country and go to races. So, and then clearly I'm very biased as well. I was very proud of Tommy through COVID, and I think he did a fantastic job. But there's been some great dogs, and then into the stayers as well. There's been some real superstars, and Miata jumped straight to mind there as a stayer. What she did around the country.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting to find out the top eight WA sprinters and stayers at that gala function on Sunday the 8th of December, so put that in your calendar. Now, you're in Adelaide, and I mentioned Tommy Shelby, I think 3 runners through to the final, which is exciting for him, and also Cannon Stark was very, very good as well. Awkward box draw, the market with Tab Touch, Hector Fawley, who of course won the Sandgroper here in Perth at $3.50 drawing box 1, Alpha Zulu $8, Grand Toura $21, Tim Zoo in box 4 $4, Fernando Phil, who also competed that Sandgroper $21, Cannon Stark $34 in box 6, Morton $4.60 and Excavation at $4. It's a tough field, and you've got a tough box draw.
Yeah, look, it's a great field. You probably expected early doors at the programming, seeing the $1 Million Chase on, that it might not have been that strong of a series, but I've come up with an absolute cracker. It's a very thick final and plenty of quality there. And box 6 certainly doesn't give you any opportunity to make a mistake and recover, so he's going to have to be right on his game.
What did you make of, first of all, his run and also Uncle Tommy's run? Didn't have a lot of luck from that wide draw. They both travel across okay?
Yeah, they did, yeah. Uncle Tommy's probably just looking for a spell, I suppose. He's been up for a little while, and he's still showing all the right signs, and everything's in the right spots, but just not firing right to his top. So he'll have a little holiday now, but great for Cannon Stark. He had a great draw, and he's always had a big motor and a lot of ability, and he's lived in his brother's shadow for a long time, so it was fantastic to see him put on the track and public for everyone else to see what we know he's capable of.
What are the plans after the Adelaide Cup with your greyhounds? Because we saw Bezecchi fly around there last Saturday night at Wentworth Park, so the WA greyhounds, of which you've been able to beat him a couple of times, are certainly going very, very well at the moment.
Yeah, and that's no surprise to me, Pete. Obviously, we've travelled for a fair while now, and probably travelled some dogs that may not have been obvious to other people to travel, but my thoughts are that the WA product's as strong as anything in the country, and if you can win high-grade races in WA, you're going to win them everywhere. We've seen Sunset Fraser win the Blacktop up at the Gardens, and he goes into the $1 Million Chase. And, the product's just really good in WA, so we'll get through Friday night and hopefully get through that nice and clean and safe. It's going to be tough. There's some good chasing dogs in there, so once we get through that and the dust settles on Saturday morning, we'll probably have a look. There's a lot on the calendar at the moment in WA and around the country. And if he's good to go, we'll probably have a look at another race for him. Good luck with him on Friday night. And just before I let you go, we mentioned Tommy Shelby, and we're talking about him in the top 50 WA greyhounds of all time, or top 8 WA greyhounds of all time in the 50 years. He's now third on the ladder in the sires premiership, which I never thought would ever happen for a WA-based sire. So congratulations on that. And you must be really wrapped with what he's been able to do so far to be third behind Fernando Bale. Yeah, but we never thought it would ever happen either. He's just a marvel, and it's all him. We can't take any credit for him. He's just a star in himself, and we just get to be the lucky people that sit there and take the journey with him. He's early in his stud career, and he's producing a quality product, and there's no reason why it should change going forward. You're staying in South Australia for the week? Yeah, absolutely. Yep, staying in South Australia for the week now, and see if we can't do something right. Good on you. Enjoy it, and good luck on Friday. Fly the WA flag well, which I'm sure you will. Thanks, Pete. Good on you. Steve Withers joining us from South Australia. And Cannon Stark, currently the outsider at $34 in the Group 1 Adelaide Cup final, but he's done a wonderful job, and it is an elite field. As I mentioned, there's 3 greyhounds there. Hector Fawley, also Fernando Phil and Morton, who are all selected in the Sandgroper earlier on in the year, and they've continued on with their form. So looking forward to that Friday race, and also looking forward to the $1 Million Chase semi-finals coming up, and Bezecchi currently the second favourite with Tab Touch at $9 at all in market. The final coming up on Friday the 18th. This Saturday night at at Mandurah at least. Cannington will be back in early November. We've got the final, the WA Bred Championship, very
open wide market. $4.20 equal favourite Sunset Nightjar, and also Iconic Jet at $4.20. Sunset Serengeti $4.60 and Spooky Hawk at $4.80. WA Greyhounds are celebrating 50 years, and we would like to know who you think are the top 8 WA sprinters and stayers of the last 50 years. Text us on the Retrovision text line 0427 789 571 your thoughts, and you'll go into the running to win a $200 Tab Touch voucher. Keep Sunday the 8th of December free for the official naming of the top 8 WA sprinters and stayers and the number 1 WA Greyhound of all time, decided by a panel of WA Greyhound experts. Looking forward to that. And of course, one of the Greyhounds that's certainly in the running, we just spoke to his trainer, and that is Tommy Shelby.
By order of the Peaky Blinders.
Tommy Shelby in front for Steve Withers of Kira Manelli, and Steve Manelli on the inside, and Tommy Shelby wins from Kira Manelli. Third in was Steve Manelli, and the sparks are flying. Tommy Shelby off and running out by 5 lengths. Zach Manelli runs into second, then followed by Red Cap Manelli and Pixie Manelli around the corner. It was the Manellis up against Tommy Shelby. They can't stop him though. He races away. Tommy Shelby wins by 3 lengths. Zach Manelli.
It's not a good idea to look at Tommy Shelby the wrong way.
Tommy Shelby, can he keep going tonight? He leads by a length and a half on Naughty Gun to the outside Red Cap Manelli, but Tommy finds something and Tommy Shelby bounces back. Tommy Shelby's nicely clear. He's going to race into the Derby final for Steve Withers, and Tommy Shelby wins by 4. Fernando Star.
I rarely answer questions. That's what I do.
Around the corner, Tommy Shelby's in front. Cindy's Oliver coming quickly, but Tommy's back and Tommy Shelby wins. Here comes Tommy, levels up, goes past. In third place was Fernando Star, then Chevy's entry, more deductions. Start cheering now, Peaky Blinders fans. Tommy Shelby swings for home. Welcome back to WA Star. Tommy Shelby wins by 2.
Another place below hell. I'll remember everything.
He went bang, Tommy. He raced clear. The Peaky Blinders start cheering for Tommy Shelby wins the WA Sprint Championship final. Tommy Shelby says don't miss with Tommy Shelby and shoots away up by 3. More deductions, runs into second. Here's the Star. Tommy Shelby wins by 3.
By order of the Peaky Blinders.
The Star from Casuarina, Tommy Shelby, drawn in 2 and they're set. The guns are out and Tommy Shelby exploded away. Out by 5 lengths in second place was Kurt Lee. Then followed by more deductions. Pixie Manelli back on the inside. Sir Monty, Grace Ali as they swing onto the corner, and Tommy Shelby, he is flying. He's out by 6 on more deductions.
It's not a good idea to look at Tommy Shelby the wrong way.
Ready. Racing, Tommy Shelby came out running, flying Ricardo away brilliantly. Shadow Mist driving the rails. It's tight through the first turn. Handsome Prince, a boulder clear. The former Tasmanian Handsome Prince has won the $1 million chase over Sherry and Tommy Shelby.
By order of the Peaky Blinders.
Style Rico stretches them out, led it 4 lengths in the Melbourne Cup to Simon's Old Helen, and then Tommy Shelby, but it is all Hard Style Rico, and he is going to absolutely bolt the Melbourne Cup in. Hard Style Rico by 5 lengths to Simon's Old Helen. Third, Tommy Shelby.
Tommy took over around the home turn. Tommy Shelby raced away from Winburn, Shing and Sprint Gordon. Tommy Shelby 3 in front, and Tommy's going to be too good. Tommy Shelby wins the 1,000 well.
By order of the Peaky Blinders.
Chances are you're about to lose. For free and confidential support, visit gamblinghelpline.org.au.